Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Sunday, as we have yet to test the previous weekly open at 49,300, with today's daily candle low just shy at 49,450, with a candle high of 50,500. We've also yet to see strength above the $50,000 level, and that has been a concern for me. We know Sundays are the most manipulated due to CME futures being closed, so the question now is, are we going to be seeing the trick, trap, and frustrate crew bring the price down as futures markets start to open? We start to see where institutions are placing their bets, or are we going to see a breakout to the upside? Because we do have this range that could potentially take us to this $58,000 level. It's the weekend. I'm going to be more freestyle with my analysis, and we're just going to cover both ends of the equation at this point, being the fact that Bitcoin is still having a cup of coffee at this extremely important resistance at 49,700. And then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance, as we are seeing some lows right now. And so this is either coming towards a point where we're going to see Bitcoin dominance break the lows from May, and this would be extremely interesting for this to happen with the DXY pushing up. We know this is extremely correlated with the DXY. It would be odd to see this happen. We've been expecting this to reverse at some point or another. Is this the last mile for the DXY before a reversal and for Bitcoin dominance to also follow that path? Or are we going to be seeing Bitcoin dominance decouple away from that correlated asset, which it's always been correlated to the DXY since the first bull market when it comes to the DXY and Bitcoin dominance moving together? A lot of that has to do with fear in the cryptocurrency market, bringing capital from altcoins back into Bitcoin. When the dollar is strengthening, we just start to see institutions more risk off. So I want to talk about this since Bitcoin dominance is making further lows. And then this is a huge puzzle piece. The Ethereum dominance chart, sort of this ascending triangle, this could potentially lead other altcoins in the same direction. The altcoins outside of Ethereum and Bitcoin is also pushing out of this channel. Is this also the final mile here? Are we going to just form a lower high to see downside here? Or are we going to come up and form another higher high? I think a lot of this will have to do with whether Bitcoin is able to see strength above 49,700, or if we break down. And if we first look at what's happening here to Bitcoin, it's not a surprise at this point that we're sitting at 49,700. This has been a level that has been on our charts for months, and it was our initial target if we were to break out of 38,000. So far, we've only been able to really have a cup of coffee at the resistance level without seeing strength or volume. That's a slight concern. When you reach a destination, you either turn right back around or you have a cup of coffee and then turn back around. And so if we're breaking this $49,700 level, but we're not seeing strength, like we first tested it here on August 23rd, didn't get to break out, and then we started to come back up during the 1st of September, still didn't get to see any decisive move to the upside. The question now is, if Bitcoin comes to 49,700, are we going to be seeing volume to the downside, pressure Bitcoin to come down below the 200-day moving average to 44,800? Because that is a possibility if 49,700 breaks, because we have the previous weekly open, the weekly open, the monthly open, and 200-day moving average all inside of this range. But we know the major support is actually 44,800. So I wouldn't expect any other level here to really hold as a support if we break 49,700 at this point, because that would truly be a failure of a trend, because we got above 49,700, but we didn't see strength. And so this is really, I'd say, the final chance for Bitcoin at this point to show whether or not the bulls are ready for higher price levels. And if not, it could start to see some downside. And here's the thing that I'd be concerned about. So let's just say, regardless of what happens after I post this video, if we stay above 49,700, then we need to start moving up at some point or another. But if we're coming back down towards 49,700, maybe by the time I post this video, we're below 49,700, who knows, then that's a huge concern for me, because the problem with that is the bears are going to easily be able to come back down to the 200-day moving average, since it's above the $44,800 support level. And so I would expect 44,800 to come into play. And who's to say that, as I've been saying over the last few days, if the bears can get us here, why wouldn't they take us lower? And so that's my concern right now at 49,700 for not able to see some decisive and intentional price action to the upside. And so once we see a downside move for Bitcoin, whether it's now or whether it's later, is when we're going to really be able to test our altcoin prediction. So as much as Bitcoin dominance is still seeing some lows, we haven't gotten the true test. The Ethereum chart, though, is giving us some interesting puzzle pieces because since we broke out from the 1760 support, now we've come up to form this lower high so far, and it put us back inside of this channel that's been long withholding here with the Ethereum price since the initial breakout from the start of this year in January. This has been a very, very, a fair market value for Ethereum while it's inside of this channel. And it's nice to see Ethereum back in this channel, but is it now going to act as a resistance? For those that were in our Discord, we did take a short position here right around that $4,000 level, pretty much just below it. And I know some people still have that open. This is a major resistance at 39.59. If Bitcoin starts to push below 49,700, it could get ugly for Ethereum. What we'll really want to watch at that point is Ethereum to Bitcoin, and then also the Ethereum dominance chart, and then the altcoins outside of Ethereum when that happens. So is this just going to be a lower high before further downside, or are we going to come up, form new all-time highs and maybe a higher high? That has to really depend on if Bitcoin can see some strength above 49,700. And then the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, we're still inside of this higher range, but we haven't broken any highs that would really characterize this move as something significant just yet. It could just be another lower high. So we really want to monitor this. Yes, we've isolated Ethereum, and I think we'll continue to do that moving forward when it comes to dominance. And I know I said that there's a potential when we saw this bullish continuation candle at 65,000 Satoshis that Ethereum was going to see some strength beyond Bitcoin. That did end up coming true, but now that we're having a cup of coffee, we have to be like Bruce Lee and be a little bit more dynamic here. On the 4-hour chart, we're seeing the higher highs. This is indicative of a bearish flag. What's going to happen here? I think this is really waiting on Bitcoin. And so we're at a very critical point where I think things could change really fast. And when we see the next move, we want to monitor the Ethereum dominance, Bitcoin dominance, and altcoin charts. I'm going to be changing my previous weekly opens on the chart tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. We'll start to see traditional markets open up, not just futures markets, and that's going to give us a really good idea of how this market's going to play out. So, futures are going to open here real soon. It's going to be interesting to see where things head. And with that, I appreciate each and every one of you snipers tuning into the channel. We want to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. I'm going to just read out some of the comments here. I don't have a book to give away on me right now. And let's see. Swiss Cottage says, yes, that was a top. Sell your BTC now and buy back in when it goes higher. Well, dollar cost averaging is never a bad idea, but being able to get some good positions when you dollar cost average is also a great thing. So with that, thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel this Sunday. Have a fun day, and I'll see you guys at the start of the week. Snipers